Okay, so I want a quick confirmation from all of you present here that are you able to see my screen? Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes.
Okay, so I got only one confirmation till now. Shilpa, are you
I
able to see my screen?
No, I can't really see anything right now.
Okay, is it Path?
Yes.
Okay, so you are not able to see my screen.
No, no.
Okay, what is visible to you right now?
Uh, Nothing is actually. It's just my screen right now.
Okay, Shilpa, what about you?
I can see your screen. And is the
Okay,
chat working? Because I replied on the chat too.
okay, no problem. Okay, so except Path, rest of you are able to see my screen.
So
Mm,
it could be a connection issue or something, you think?
I think so.
So is there a try again button or a link on your screen path? Like when you're seeing on the screen and you have Zoom in front of you, like are you seeing the Zoom login or something, or something like that says download or something like that?
Yes, yes, yes.
Just click on the try again on that and it might show you.
Okay, yeah, it's visible.
All right, can you see the screen now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Okay.
Okay, so without wasting more time, I would like to start the introduction to Java. This is the first module which we are going to start. This is the very first session. So it's going to be a general session which will give you an idea about what Java programming is about, what Java is about. So there is nothing technical today. It's more about theoretical, architectural, like what Java is about. So don't feel bored in between. Okay, just concentrate on the content because it's going to help you for the next sessions. Okay. So the objectives which we are going to meet today is about we are going to introduce you to Java and then some of the features of Java. What is JVM? What is JRE? Then JDK. There are some of the main major terms related to Java programming or a Java language, and then some Java development tools and what kind of Java programs you will be able to create after completion of this course. Okay, so this is just the basic introduction about Java. That you all know that the Java is a high-level programming language like any other programming like language like C or C++. But there are some features of Java which make it more reliable, more secure as compared to C or C++ programming languages. So we are going to talk about those features also. Introducing Java is that developed by James Gosling's at Sun Microsystems. If you have any idea about history of Java programming language, that it was developed by Sun Microsystems and the concerned person was James Gosling. And originally it was named as Oak. There was a reason behind why it was named as Oak, and then later on it was renamed as Java by Sun Microsystems. So because while they were having this idea of introducing Java, a new language, at that time they have not named it as Java, rather they have named it as Oak, because the idea was that the person was looking out of the window and he just saw an oak tree over there, and then he just randomly named it as Oak. Then later on, while having a cup of tea, and if you know that the Java is a kind of coffee, so they just renamed as the Java. And it is a object oriented programming language, we all know that. And then object oriented programming, it seems to be a very simple term, but actually it's not that simple. It has a number of couple of ideas behind it, and we are going to learn about it in upcoming slides. And then Sun Microsystem was acquired by Oracle Corporation in January 2010. So now we can say that actually Java is a product of Oracle Corporation. Moving to the next, before I move to the next slide, I would like to introduce this Vora. What does this Vora means? Write once, run anywhere. That means Java is such a compatible language, programming language, that you have to just write your program once, write the code once, and any platform you choose, you can run it there. That is why it follows this principle of Vora, that write once, run anywhere. A number of features are written here, are given here, that will give you a brief introduction to Java again, that it is an object-oriented programming language, that everything is object. Here, when we say object, we are talking about some real-world objects. If I take a book, if I take a fan or a chair, anything I take as a real-world object, everything revolves around that object and how we are going to incorporate that real-world object as an object of our Java program. We are going to learn it in detail in upcoming sessions. So currently you have to just remember that everything is about object here in Java. It is platform independent. Platform independent gives you an idea about that you write it anywhere on any platform. That means on any machine. And then if you want to transfer it, if you want to move your program to some other machine, that it doesn't mean that your program won't work. That is why we call it machine independent or platform independent. That means basic functionality is required, software is required, a platform is required. If you have that in your machine, your program can work anywhere in this world on any platform. Simple and secure, it's very easy to learn, that's why we call it simple. The code, if once you have learned the syntax or the way of writing your program, it's going to be very simple for you. It's secure. Why we call it secure? Because nowadays Java is basically used for web development, web programming, and whenever we talk about web, we want it to be secure. That's why we call that one of the features of Java is security. It is portable. It's very easy to move or transfer from one place to another place, from one machine to another machine. It is robust. Robust is one of the features. Robustness is one of the feature of any computer system. If a system is robust, that means it's a very good system, very compatible system. Multi-threaded. Multi-threaded in the sense, if you have one program, it doesn't mean that one program is going to function in one way or only on one thing it's going to work. Rather, you have multiple threads in your program, and then each and every thread can help you out to do multiple tasks at the same time. So we can say through multi-threaded environment, it's going to provide us multitasking. Then we have high performance. Java programs are very high performance with the help of JIT. JIT is nothing but your just-in-time compiler. We are going to learn in detail about JIT in upcoming slides. Then this is distributed. That means nowadays, whenever we talk about internet, we talk about web, we talk about distributed system. That means we don't want to stick to one system. Rather, we have a number of machines, remote machines, anywhere you can sit and work. We need such a kind of environment. So Java provides us that feature also. It is dynamic. Any amount of data it can recognize at a time, at the runtime, basically we can say. So whenever we say an object can have a number of data, amount of data it can deal with at the runtime. So that is why it is dynamic in nature. Then we have a feature of garbage collection, where if you have an idea about C or C++ programming language, there the garbage collection is not automatic, where you have to use some of the functions for garbage collection. Rather, in Java, this is quite automatic, that we don't have to worry about unused data or unused objects, that what will happen, how my memory is going to be utilized in a way. So that garbage collection feature is there. So I would like to know, is it clear till now? Any doubt in two slides is the introduction of Java?
No, no.
Okay, thank you for the response. Moving to the next slide, I would like to give you some of the applications of Java, that a wide variety of applications of Java are available nowadays. Maybe you are aware of many applications. So here a broad category of applications are mentioned, like Java is used for web-based applications, financial applications, gaming applications, some of the distributed enterprise applications, image processors, desktop applications. A number of plenty of applications have been developed in Java by now. I hope after learning this course, you will develop your own application, and you will enjoy learning Java. And let's see how many of you will enroll for the project, and collectively we are going to work on that project and develop one good application. Going into detail about Java's architecture, how does it work, what kind of environment is required for working on Java. So introducing Java Virtual Machine, which is called JVM. It is a virtual machine, that's why we call it as abstract machine also. It provides special environment to execute Java bytecode. So now here comes what is this bytecode means. So if you can look at this diagram given here, this diagram shows that once we write a source code, when we say source code, that means I'm talking about a program which we have written in Java. And the name of the file is going to be like hello.java. So .java here indicates that this is my Java file. Any source code, any program, whether it's a 2-line code or 10-line code, I'll just call it source code. So once that source code is written using any of the platform, maybe any of the platform which is used for creating or developing Java applications, after compiling that source code, I get some intermediate code which is called bytecode. This bytecode, which is generated by this compiler, is stored as .class file. So the name of the file is going to remain same, hello.class. So here .class is an intermediate file which gets created after the compilation. This bytecode, let me tell you, is platform independent. You just take this bytecode to some other machine, and then that machine, if has Java installed on it, that machine is going to give you the same output as your host machine where you were actually working. So that's why we say that Java is platform independent, it is machine independent, or there is another term for that, we call it architecture neutral, because it is easily transferable. That's why we call it portable also. And then after getting this bytecode, which is the intermediate code, we just pass it to a compiler or interpreter. I'll just tell you what is actually what is the use of compiler interpreter here, which is actually called JVM. So I hope you are getting the use of this Java virtual machine, the role of this Java virtual machine, that once you have your bytecode with you, using this JVM, actually the final output can be generated. So how do you get this JVM? Nothing you have to do. You have to just install Java on your system. I will be giving you steps also how to install Java. This is just an introduction about how actually your programs work, how they compile, how your interpreter works, and how actually you get your final output. So JVM has an important role here, that after getting the byte role, after and compiling or interpreting, you get your final output. So let us just see the architecture of this Java in your system. Again, you have this Java source code. Once you have your Java source code with you, this Java compiler helps you to compile your code and get some Java class. Java class file, I hope you can remember that it is nothing but your bytecode which you get after compilation. This Java class is passed to an environment which is called Java Runtime Environment, which is also called JRE. So Java Runtime Environment has got something called Java Virtual Machine and some other support files or some library classes files which are helpful to convert your class file into final output. So here you can see actually your this environment, the full environment of Java runtime environment is actually based on layers of hardware and operating system. So if you have this Java runtime environment installed on your machine or where or the platform where you are working for Java programs, then you will be able to execute your Java files. Whether you transfer your bytecode from some other machine or you create your own programs on your machine, and then this Java runtime environment will help you to execute your programs using Java Virtual Machine, which is JVM. So in the previous architectural diagram, I was talking about JRE, which is nothing but your Java runtime environment. So a brief introduction about Java runtime environment is given here, that it is nothing but an environment which is used to run your applications. It is the implementation of Java Virtual Machine. So actually what exists on your system, Java Virtual Machine is something which exists virtually, which is something abstract. But JRE is something which exists physically on your system, and it is platform dependent. So now here you can see that once you have your bytecode with you and Java runtime environment is there on your machine, now everything is machine independent after bytecode. So wherever you take your code, then it becomes okay. How long it will take to execute your code, how it's going to execute, which microprocessor you're using, so that your speed runtime execution increases, and all those things comes up. It contains a set of libraries which are helpful to this JVM Java Virtual Machine to run your code at runtime. It doesn't contain any development tools such as compiler and debugger. But after bytecode, we need to compile or interpret our code at runtime also, so that we get our final output. So from where come these development tools? For that, we have something called JDK. JDK is your Java Development Kit. This Java Development Kit actually is a combination of JRE and some development tools, if you can see this diagram. And we know that this JRE contains some files and then JVM. But if we say that the combination of JRE and development tools gives you JDK. So if you have actually JDK installed on your system, you even don't need your JRE. It comes automatically. Automatically executes in your system, and then you will have JRE also along with JDK, because it contains JRE plus some development tools. So actually what you have to install is JDK, because it contains some compiler, exe file, and then some application launcher file, which is definitely required to launch your application, to launch your output, so that you will be able to see how your program is working. So is it fine till now? Is it okay, or any doubt? A quick confirmation I want, so that I can move further. Okay, good. Thank you for the confirmation. Moving to the next slide, which is about JIT. If you remember in the features slide, I was talking about some high performance feature, which is about JIT. JIT is nothing but your just-in-time compiler. This compiler translates the bytecode, whichever you get after compilation, the bytecode. It translates that bytecode into native machine language. Native machine language means right now, whichever machine, whichever platform I'm using to compile, to run my code, that machine. So that bytecode needs to get converted to some machine language now while executing your program, definitely, because Java is basically web-based language. It is basically used for server-side programming or client-side programming. So what happens? You just have the code and you just execute it on your system. You don't save it anywhere. That happens when you work on web. So it compiles the given bytecode instruction sequence. So whatever instructions you have, whatever program you have right now, whatever bytecode you have, to machine code at runtime, before executing the code as native code. So that final, conversion is required. That final conversion again requires some kind of compiler or interpreter. So a combination of compiler and interpreter is there with us when we install JDK, which is called JIT, just-in-time compiler. Suppose if we don't have this compiler here, only interpreter. So I am assuming that you know the difference between a compiler and an interpreter. That compiler executes everything at once, and then interpreter executes your code line by line. So definitely interpreter is going to take long time to convert your bytecode into machine code. So there what happens if you have compiler plus interpreter, so everything gets compiled at once and then it will take less time to finally execute your code at runtime. So that is why JIT is required, and we call it dynamic compilation. So any data you have as bytecode with you, everything gets compiled and gets converted to machine code at runtime. So this kind of GIT is basically suitable for dynamic programming languages because you may have any amount of data at runtime, and Java is one of them. I would like to request all of you just keep your mics on mute. I'm getting some noise in between. Okay, thank you. Next slide is about Java development tools. There are some tools which are required when you develop any of your Java programs or your Java applications. Definitely, you don't have to install them separately on your machine. Whenever you install Java at once or JDK, everything gets installed automatically in your machine. So, but you should know the terms like Java. What is this Java? Is Java interpreter. It runs the application. So all the exe files get installed automatically on your system. There is something called Java C, which is Java compiler that converts the source code to bytecode. Then we have Java doc. It creates HTML documents from Java code used for creating documentation of the program. So if you are working for on a web like internet, any programming for web, so in that case this Java doc is very useful. This JDB, which is Java debugger, definitely if you are running our program, if any bugs are there, then a debugger is required. So using this JDB, that you can find out the errors in your program. And then we have Java H, which it produces the header files, because a number of header files may be required whenever you are developing your applications. Or if you have worked on C or C++, then you may have an idea about header files, like what kind of header files are required. For Shilpa, I would like to say that I know that maybe you may have not learned any other programming language by now. These are the new terms for you, but just try to learn these new terms, and definitely by next class or next session, you will be comfortable with these terms. Then we have jar, a tool to make zip files. I hope you have an idea about zip files, as we do, as we have zip softwares, like we can zip our files. Similarly to zip Java files, we have something called jar, a tool to make zipped files that are also known as jar files, which are also called Java archive files. Then we have applet viewer, helps to view and run applets. Applets are nothing but your internet application programs or internet applications. We will be learning about applets also in upcoming sessions. So don't worry about these kind of terms. Okay, now comes something very important, which is like popular Java editors. What kind of editors you can use to develop your own applications? Very simple editor, which is Notepad, which is available on your Windows machine. So it's a very simple text editor. You can even use WordPad, Notepad++, or any other editor. Then we have NetBeans. It is a Java IDE integrated development environment that is an open source and freely available to download from a given link. So once you get a PDF format of this PPT, you can just check out this link and then you can download NetBeans if you want to use it as your editor to develop your applications. Or if you want to work on Eclipse, which is again a tool available as IDE, Java IDE, and this is also open source. And you can just log on to this eclipse.org and then you can download it according to the Windows you are using or Windows version you are using. Let me tell you that this course of Java, actually we are going to use Eclipse platform or editor to work on Java programs or applications. So it's better if you will also download this Eclipse from the given link. It will be helpful to learn a better way. Then we have different types of Java programs. What kind of programs we can create in using Java? It's like something called Java applet, which I was talking about in the previous slide. It is usually stored on a website and is downloaded and run on a client computer from within a web browser. So we all work on web. We download some files from the internet, and then so we are nothing but client. And if you are using the files stored on the web, these files are nothing but your Java applets applications. Then we have some application programs like which can be run on the computer. If online, it has to be downloaded before being run. These are the general applications which we also download any kind of software which are created in Java or something, which we download on our system, are nothing but your application programs. And then we have jar file, Java archive files, and it is used to package Java files together into a single file. It's nothing but it's like your zip file folder. Then we have servlet, runs on a web server and helps to display web pages. So whenever we say servlet, that means we are talking about server-side programming or the programs which are saved on the server. Then we have Swing application. It is used to build an application that has GUI, graphical user interface, any interface which is user friendly. If you want to build such a kind of application, then this is called a kind of Swing application. Then we have EJB, runs on a web server. It is used to develop large and complex websites. So like Servlet is nothing stored on a web server. Similarly, you have EJB, which is kind of platform available through which you can create websites using Java programming, which is called Java Enterprise version. Okay, now comes something interesting, which is why you are here for. You are here for to learn Java programming, and it's a very simple Java program created and shown here using a notepad. If you don't have any kind of platform like Eclipse or NetBeans, and you don't want to install on your system, then you have a very simple option of using notepad or any other text editor. And then it's a very simple code given here. Maybe you will not be able to understand what the code means right now, but I will try to explain you each and every word given here so that you will have a hang of what Java is about. Okay, so the program given here is doing nothing, just printing a very simple statement, hello world, as an output. So in this program, we have something called main. Can you see this main? This main is nothing but a keyword which is used in Java program, and it is compulsory keyword. Why it is compulsory? It's a kind of function available. It's a kind of mm, method available in Java program through which or from which the program execution starts. If we have main in our program, that means that is the starting point of that application or the program. Okay, so before I'll go further, I would like to tell you that this is called class hello world. So class is a keyword again here. Hello world is the name of the program or the name of the class which we are creating. The concept of class is very vast. It has a number of things to include in a class, but just a simple program to tell you that how Java program works, please just look at this program carefully. Then we have something called public. This main method is defined as public. Why this public keyword is here? So that it should be visible to all. This method is visible to everyone, all the members, everybody who is even available outside this class, that everyone should be able to see this program. Then we have a keyword called static. The meaning of the static keyword is that even when we talk about Java, we say that everything is about object here. Even when we don't have any object with us, then still we want to execute our program. We want to see what kind of output it generates. In that case, we need to have this static keyword. That means, okay, you don't need any object right now, still you can execute your program. But otherwise, Java is, is the heart of, object is the heart of Java. Without object, Java is nothing. And then we have void. Void is used since main doesn't return any value. Then we have something called void keyword here, if you can see, because currently our program is not returning anything. No, it's not returning any value. It's just printing hello world on the screen. That's why this void keyword is here. So I hope this makes some sense to you right now, the meaning of this program. So moving further, right now, how to set up the path for Windows. If you are working on the Windows platform, and I am assuming that you have already installed Java on your machine, installing Java is very simple process. You have to just Google it, and then according to the Windows version you are using, just take any latest version of JDK, and then you can install it on your machine. And the steps are also very simple. After you have installed Java on your machine.
I have a question. If you don't mind, can I interrupt for a minute?
Yeah.
So I think for the installation part, if everybody, I'm not sure how people want to do it. One is that you can install it on your computers, or if you want access to a cloud server to which we can give you login, then you must let us know. Then that way you can directly access over the cloud also. So Java is very easy to install on your laptop as well. So you can have a laptop, install Java on it, and you can test your code on it. So it will be the same as working on a server. But if you want Linux or Unix server to which you want to log in and then try your code out, then let Mehak know or let me know, and we'll provision it for you. Okay. So that's what I wanted to say. Go ahead, Mehak.
Okay. Thank you, Shashi, for explaining a bit about Cloudera. And those who have joined today, definitely you can provide your feedback to us at how you would like to work on Java course, that you want it to be installed on your machine, or you want some other way of practicing Java programs. So that we can provide you that kind of platform or that provision can be done for you. Okay, so right now what I'll do is, rather than going into slides, okay, that this way is possible, that way is possible, what I'll do is I can show you practically. If you have notepad with you, and then if you want to create a simple Java program, then how you can do that. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to open notepad. Okay, and then I'm going to type here a very simple program. If you can just notice, I'm creating a class. So class is a keyword here, and the name of the class, suppose is the program1 right now. Okay, then I'm going to start a couple of braces. Don't worry about the syntax right now. What you have to do is, just you have to see that how you can run your own program if you have a simple code with you. Public static void main you have to write as a starting point of your program, and then we have something called string args. String args gives us an idea that, okay, the kind of the arguments which we are passing are kind of string, and then I'm going to print a very simple statement like maybe hello to all. So I'm going to print hello. So this is the way of printing in Java, and that you just write a statement like system.out.print statement, and then definitely details about it I'll give you in upcoming sessions. And then in double quotes, as a parameter. You just pass whatever you want to print on the screen, and then you have to make sure the number of braces you have started, you're closing those many braces, and then you have to save your file on a location. So I'm going to save it currently in a folder in my C drive. Java is already installed in C drive somewhere, and then I have to name it as same as my class name. Please make sure name of the class is program1, so I will rename it as program1.java. Okay, I have a couple of classes, or if you can see here, something called .java, something called .class. Please try to recall that .java is nothing my source code file, and then .class is something called bytecode, which generates after compilation. So after I will compile this program one.java file, then I will be able to see this .class file also here. So currently I'm just going to save it. After saving your file, what you have to do is you have to just open command prompt in your system. So just open command prompt and then go to the particular folder in which you have stored your Java program right now. So currently my location is Java folder, and then you have to do something called set path. You have to set the path or some kind of variables you have to set before you work on the CMD, so that your program will be able to find out where your JDK is installed. If your program won't be able to find out JDK, then you won't be able to compile your program, because that is a requirement of executing a Java program. So just see that this is a way of setting up a path, and you will find out this way of setting a path when you will get your PDF file. So don't no need to memorize it right now. So what I am typing right now is I have written set path equals to percentage path percentage and then semicolon. Then I have to give the location where I have stored my JDK. So it's somewhere in C colon program files, and then I have a folder called Java. Okay, then I have JDK, JDK version 1.8.0 underscore 45. Then okay, the bin directory where my files are stored. Okay, now see how I'm going to compile my code. So Java C is the compiler or the development tool which is used for compilation. If you remember when we were talking about some development tools, so Java C is a tool which is available. So after Java C, what you have to do is you have to give the name of your file. So name of the file was program1, and extension is required here. What kind of file you are using? So .java. So once this compilation gets over, we are going to run our code. Somewhere in the background, at the background, this compilation is going on. Okay, so my program has compiled successfully. After compilation, what I have to do is I have to run my code. So only Java is required here, because that is a development tool for interpreter. So Java program1, that means the name of my file or the code, source code file, and dot extension is not required, because dot class file has already been generated somewhere after compilation. So using that dot class file only, it's going to interpret my code and produce the output. So if you can see the kind of output it has generated right now is hello. That is what I wanted to print. So if I make a change in my code here, and if I want to print something else, so that I can write in between double quotes, and then same output I will find out on this screen as output. So is it fine till now? Did you get the idea about how to run a code if you have simple editors with you and no special IDE for Java working with Java? Okay, I got yeah, thank you, Path. Shilpa, if you can give a confirmation, is it okay or I need to explain it again? I'm just waiting for confirmation from Shilpa. Okay, thank you, Shilpa. So I hope this execution is clear to you, and then you will try to execute the code yourself also after you get the PDF file from me. And now going back to the PPT. Okay, so the one way of executing your file was this, that run command prompt and then go to the current working directory, as I have used that cd java command, and then I have used the set path command. And because on my machine the version of JDK is 1.8.0 underscore 45, so whatever version you are going to install on your machine, please do take that version accordingly, and then you will be able to execute your code. And this is nothing but a screenshot of how you can execute your code, how you have to type it, and then see this is the Java compilation command, and then this is how you run your code using interpreter. And before I go to the exercise, I'll go back and tell you the other way of setting up this path for Windows. It's like that. You have to just go to your my computer and then right click over there and then go to properties. After going to the properties, just go to advanced system settings. There you will find out something called environment variables. After going to environment variables, just find out where is this path variable. Okay, here is the path variable. Here path variable is already set. What you have to do is you have to give a proper location here where you have stored your JDK, so that it will be able to find out that your current working directory or the bin directory. Okay, if you want to change it, just click on this edit button and then just replace this with the current directory or your JDK directory, bin directory. Then what you have to do is, then when you will work on command prompt, you don't have to set that path every time, because once your session gets over, if I close this command prompt session, again I have to set my path, and then I will be able to compile my code and then run my code. But once if your path is set here using environment variables, then again and again you don't have to give that set path instruction in command prompt. I hope this way of setting up variables, environment variables is clear to you. It's very important to setting up environment variables, otherwise you won't be able to execute your code. And it's a very simple exercise given to you for today, that you have to create a very simple Java program to print your name. And you don't have to install anything right now, any IDE like NetBeans or Eclipse. You can just use the Notepad to work. And you have to save your code as first.java in a suitable folder or directory, and then execute it using command prompt and check whether you're getting proper output or not. And this is the last slide, and this is the end of the session. What I would like you to do is please install Java as soon as possible before we have next session, and next session is going to happen on Wednesday, same time. And then let me know if you find out any problems while installation. I have already given you my email ID. Please be in touch and try to execute this exercise as well. If you are not able to execute this code, definitely we will again work on it in the next session, in the beginning of the session itself. Then only we will move to the next topic. Any queries? Any queries you have? Shashi, would you like to say something now?
Okay, so thank you, Mehak. That was a good session. I'm sure that everybody enjoyed it. This was just an introduction, so it's really been very theoretical. And with one example that Mehak has already shown you, it's a simple program. So we do have people, in our company who can help you with Java learning. So feel free to ask questions. don't hesitate to send emails to Mehak or to myself. So maybe what we can do is, Mehak, as a next step, we can send our email IDs to all these students. And then that way, if they have any questions, they can respond back to us, right? And the contact people they can contact for getting support. But I also wanted to kind of let me do this. I'll stop the recording now. I'll share the screen to show you like how to navigate around on Hadoop Express, in case you want to, if you have questions or comments or something that you want help on. Okay.